Well, welcome, 7K Hawaii Ohana team, right past the convention. And we're going to have a review of what we learned uh, and what it means to us as we move forward uh, since Salt Lake City and Idaho Falls. Uh, and Brother Gary, you have a few comments that you'd like to start us off with.
Yes, sir, Brother Bob. Well, we all had this milestone event, mountaintop experience of golden connections, expert mentoring, and absolute blast of celebration in the 7K convention in Salt Lake City. And now that we're back home, we're saying to ourselves, what did I discover there? What were the gems? How am I going to apply this practically to my 7K team and dream building and to my life? And so we know that success leaves clues. And Zig Ziglar said this. I thought this was very profound. I learned this many, many years ago in my teenage years studying Zig. He said in every conversation of communication regarding anything that's an opportunity, there is a influence and a persuasion that is made. Either we are influencing the person to our point of view, to our value that we're sharing, or they are influencing and persuading us to theirs. Now, we all know as we share 7K, people do have questions. Some of these questions turn into concerns or have been called objections. And I wanted to share this because I think this is such a profound truth and it's so reflected in the fruit of what we do. Scientific research by many independent sources have determined that communication is 57% posture, 36% tonality, and 7% the words that we speak. Now, when I first learned this as a pioneer with Tony Robbins launching his personal growth training seminar business back in the early 80s, this was a profound truth to me, and I started to see the fruit of it. Now, it's totally biblical, by the way. I'm going to share a few scriptures about this, but it totally applies to what we're doing. Now, Richard Hanson, our great founder, and Bob, you were so blessed to have Richard with us in that amazing dinner on Sunday night in Idaho Falls with his fiance, Marlene. And he said so many things that were so excellent. He was doing training during the whole dinner with us. And one of the things he said that I'll never forget is he said, it's not so much the words you speak, but it's so much more how you feel about the words you speak. Now, we all have scripts that we've used, but we have to put those in our own personality, our own words, our own way of saying things, right? And of course, we communicate differently to some people than to others. When I first moved to Hawaii 42 years ago, I learned a whole different language here, another part of the English language called Hawaiian Pidgin that I never heard before. And had fun learning to listen to local people speak that way. Started to communicate a little bit that way myself as I lived here for several years. So I wanted to share these scriptures, Bob, and I know you want to comment on these about how powerful this is and what we learned at the convention. So going back to if our communication is 57% posture and 36 tonality and only 7% words, wow, that's profound truth, isn't it? That's what people are really seeing when we communicate with them. So here's scriptural proof of that. It says in Proverbs 23:7, as they thinketh in their heart, so are they in their life. So we know that our thinking reflects into our heart, and that comes again out of our mouth. It says actually in Matthew 12:33, Jesus himself spoke this, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. A good person out of the good treasure of their heart bringeth forth good fruit and good things. Oh my goodness, what an incredible truth that is. So what's in our mind, in our heart, is being communicated out of our mouth many times, far more than we might ever realize it. Now, those that are seeing the greatest fruit in our business right now, Bob, as you know, have got this truth very solid in their life for a long time, but we're all fine tuning this. We're all learning more and more things. It also says in Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind to the mind of Christ, so that you live out and share what is that acceptable, good, and perfect will of God for your life. See, we were not created to be on this earth as conformers. The word con is in there for a reason, because the ways of this world will con us into being far less than what we really are in our true identity in Christ. We were created to be on this earth to be transformers. So in being a transformer, we're not pouring gasoline on the fire of this world, are we? We're saying, hey, we're seeing things a little bit different here. Let me share with you what I'm seeing right now. And that's where that influence, that persuasion starts to take place. Going back to what Zig said, remember, there's always a persuasion and influence going on. Now, why would we allow other people who are not seeing the truth of what we're seeing about God's money, God's kingdom? We know this is solid. This is rock solid. Why would we allow them to dilute our mind and heart into thinking, well, maybe this is not so solid. Maybe this, no, we already know. And so we come from that powerful place of persuasion. Now it says in Romans 14:5, no, this is extremely powerful. Let every person be fully persuaded in their own mind. And now this is where it's really coming home with 7K, is that I think everybody on this Zoom, Bob, would say, and of those even that were not at the convention, but have been following the training and being part of this great mission, we're constantly being more and more persuaded in our own mind about how powerful this mission is of 7K. It is a kingdom mission. We're bringing God's money. We're bringing the kingdom economy. And there's power in this because it is transforming people's lives already. We're seeing the fruit of that, right? So here's a question. How many of our 7K candidates' concerns and doubts regarding 7K are actually our own concerns and doubts that we have not resolved yet? And we're actually projecting that through our posture and tonality, even if we don't speak those words. So if we think, well, that autosaver is too expensive, well, guess what? They're going to come, oh, I think that autosaver. I had this experience a long time ago when I had my first networking company, when people had to enter their social security number in order to become a member. Now, I didn't have a problem with that because I checked with the company and they said, oh, it goes in there one time. It's completely encrypted. Not even anybody in the company can see it. And it's only used at the end of the year when somebody's 1099 is sent out. I said, okay, good enough for me. I'm fully persuaded in that. So guess what? When I'm talking to people, I very rarely get a question about, oh, I don't like to put my social security number. No, that concern wasn't coming up for me because they were picking up from me, hey, that's not a problem here, because even though I wasn't even saying the words. But guess what? People that had a huge concern about that, they got that question all the time. How does that happen? Well, it's because posture, tonality is communicating far more than our words. So going back again to what Richard said, I think we all learned so much at this convention. And I attached a little video on this chat. I think you guys are going to have fun with this. It's actually a true story about Houdini, who got locked in a jail cell, and you're going to be amazed what actually happened to him there. But it totally relates to what we're talking about right here. So I just wanted to share those thoughts, Bob, and I'd love to hear your insights on that. And we can have some discussion as this, because as we go out now and communicate, what did we learn at this convention? What did we discover? How much more are we fully persuaded in our mind that 7K is possibly the best opportunity in the world right now for sharing gold and silver, God's money, bringing the kingdom economy, bringing the whole kingdom in that matter. And another thing I would encourage you to do on your Telegram, I posted this morning a phenomenal vision casting video by Roger Ball. And everybody, I actually scripted it. I wrote word for word what he said because I was so moved by that. I was crying half the time listening to him, as he was crying too, because this is deep in his heart. I said this several times too, Bob, and it's pretty funny. I said, how many times you've been part that'll make you cry? And I'm not talking about because you got fired. I'm talking about because you got fired up. So anyway, thanks guys for listening to this morning, what I wanted to share. And Bob, I'd like to hear your heart on this, and certainly many others may want to share on this, how powerful our communication is and how this does truly influence, persuade people, and does allow them to be transformed into the gift that we have here of 7K.
Thank you, Brother Gary. That's exactly right. It is our body language even projects that same information. And we know in the Asian culture, that is extremely important. At least I found that. I shared on the screen those scriptures in that email that you had when you were going over them, and also put up that translation of the comments that Roger Ball made for you. But I'm a big fan of Zig Ziglar. I think I've seen, listened to every video, audio cassette tape that he's done, read nearly all of his books, if not all of them. And that basically is from two people too. Uh, Think and Grow Rich. Because see, Zig wasn't the first, Jim Rome wasn't the first. And if you go back to what I said in the basis of my system, I teach people to read the Bible 15 minutes a day. Just open it up and just start reading. I'd like for you to pick up from where you the next time, just pick up. And I say, start at John, but you can start at Proverbs or Psalm, any one of the three, doesn't matter. But then just pick up where you last left off and start your next 15 minutes. And you do that for 2 years. Okay. That's part of the learning process. These scriptures hit home well, and you succinctly summarized it. But all these people that I tell you about that teaches this, they got it all from the Bible. And so that's where you're going to learn those skills, attitudes, and techniques. That's where you're going to learn what you need to have, help facilitate the tools and how to use the tools better. And you get better at it by doing it. You don't get better at it just by reading it. You don't get better at it by being silent. You get better at it by doing it. And so 2 years of practical experience, and you will be honing and sharpening those skills, attitudes, and techniques. And you've got the right team, right place, right company, right products, right timing, right everything. And that's what we're going to transition into right now, is just exactly that. Okay, we've had a fabulous week and a tremendous concentrated 2 days in Salt Lake and more after it. So I'm going to ask for a couple of questions. I'm going to allow you to unmute yourselves. Please not everybody unmute. I'm going to call on different people, and I'd like you to answer as succinctly as possible, because I'm going to ask a very pointed question. Ronald, get prepared. Unmute yourself. I'm going to ask you this. What is the one thing that you think is the most important thing you got out of that time in Salt Lake?
Thanks, Bob, for the short notice. So, there was a lot of things at Salt Lake, but we really enjoyed the personal relationship we could start with Richard Wayne Hansen, and being able to sit down and face to face with one of the founders and see how he actually introduced this great opportunity to other people, and to hear his heart and hear his prayer for everyone at that table. It was very, very impressive and very needful to hear that in a one-to-one, face-to-face way. The excitement, of course, at the main conference was spectacular. Seeing so many people ranking up and coming across the stage to receive their rewards. And it was very unique, and the beautiful coins that were displayed. We love seeing that cat coin. Boy, I'm sorry there was only 99 of them and only one given away that night. But I can see that you can see the quality of the collectible coins available through this company, and it's just astounding and a great opportunity.
Thank you, Ronald. And as y'all see, once you turn somebody on, it's hard to turn them off, because I asked for just one thing. Ronald flopped out 5 of them for us. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate that. And your excitement in that. So I know what that this conference did for you and for Beverly. There's one thing that you mentioned here, and that's heart. And I think everybody that was there can see that, at least from all the founders, the co-founders, and even the management of the company, their heart is for you and for the future members you bring to this company. they have a true, that mission statement in our wealth strategies brochure and the presentation is a true statement. It wasn't just fabricated. That's why this company was put together. It wasn't put together to make millions and millions of dollars for the owners. The owners are already wealthy. It was put together to give back and to give something that was never available and to change two spaces. Roger and Richard's real heart is to change the greatest entrepreneurial opportunity in the history of the world, network marketing, and give it the image it deserves. Too many people have destroyed that image with startups, start down, and I think Josh adequately addressed that at the convention. And he knows because he grew up as a child in this industry. His parents were extremely successful in network marketing. And then he built an organization of over 20,000 people himself and his experience in network marketing. And then he's been in executive positions ever since in the network marketing industry. What many of you don't know that I do is that Josh Anderson sat on 5 boards of 5 different network marketing companies on their board of directors. He wasn't a member of those companies. He was a board of director. And he was paid $50,000 from each one of them, meaning $250,000 a year. Extra income for sitting in some meetings to tell the management how they viewed their decisions and their forward thinking and some of the decisions, and give their input. That's what a board of director does. Josh had to resign from all 5 of that. That's the easiest $250,000 a year you'll ever make in your life, being on a board of a company. Do y'all understand what I just said? And he had to resign from those to be a co-founder in this company because it was conflict of interest. He then became a network marketing company in their eyes owner. And so you can't own one and be on another board to try and tell them, help them in their decision making of what they're doing with their company. And not many of y'all know that. That was exposed way back in the first year because that was a major decision. Can you imagine going home and telling your family, your wife, that you're going to cut off $250,000 of the easiest income flow coming into your house that ever seen? That's going to just disappear overnight. That's what happened. The heart is for you. And I hope y'all know that my heart is exactly in the same thing. I'm not the company, but I'm Team Hawaii Ohana. I mean, y'all are as much family to me in such a short period of time as my own family. In fact, I think I truly feel closer to many of you than many people in my own family. So let me ask Ku'ule, what was the one thing that you got most out of your that made it justified for your taking that time, that money, that travel, and endure the pain you had to with your bad back? What was the one thing that stuck out the most and meant the most to you out of that whole event?
That's really hard to say just one thing.
Yeah, but I want one.
Well,
because see, everybody's going to have a different one, and that there's got to be a priority, and it's selling. That's really what I'm trying to get here at, is one out of each person. And you can say a couple of other things that you want, like Ronald did, but
yeah, no, but so you know what, I did actually want to see how the attitudes of the co-founders were, and on stage it really shined through. I mean, like, you could feel the love, you could see their hearts. One thing that I always stuck in my mind was about how they kept saying, Zach would always ask, is it going to benefit us, or if it's going to benefit them? And it's always about the distributors. He always said, is it going to be beneficial for our members? It was always the number one thing. Is it always going to be beneficial for the members? Not about them. And when we went to Idaho Falls and we saw the office, the home office, and they were saying, we're not in a fancy building or anything like that. This building is an old building, and, we are taking it apart and refurbishing little at a time, because they're putting all their money into us and, and the coins. That was so, I mean, I wanted to cry, because I've been in buildings, my father is from Virginia, and I've been in historic buildings from when I was a child. So I know what those kind of things can look like from a historic building to a brand new building of today. And so they've come so far, and the love and the financial resources that they put into us really means a lot to me, because it really, what they say is what they mean. And I love it, because it's not just a bunch of fluff, and it's not about them. It is about us. And we're in the right place, and we have the right leaders and the right products. I can't say anything more. I'm just so elated to be part of this company.
Thank you, Kuele. And I find exactly the same thing. And I'm sure many others feel exactly what you do and saw exactly what you did too. And you were talking about the coins and everything they go into is, what will it benefit us, the people, and then the future people. And I think Brother Gary talked a little bit about that too in the introduction to this. Those that say that $105 is too much for that coin, they totally have no comprehension of what they're talking about.
That's why I always break it down.
Yeah, and if we're a member and we have those feelings, that you really need to look in the mirror and work on yourself, because that before you even try to get another member on your team, you need to settle that issue between you and your sponsor and you and God, okay? Because you got to have something that creates residual income and gives a potential to derive profit and to make you a legal direct selling company. And so your choices are many, and many a nutrition company uses pills and liquids. This company is a precious metals company, and it uses a product that everybody used to have in the MS-70, but I'm going to share something with y'all. And maybe many of you did not notice this, but we're going to be having to change a few of our presentations up, because our new specialty coin is not going to be one that they can find somewhere else now. It's going to be a very unique coin. It's going to be a gold coin again. And it's going to be a gold coin all the time now. And so we have the basic, the variety, and the specialty coin will soon be all exclusive coins only, and only to 7K. So there is no comparison. I'm sorry. It's just totally irrelevant to compare in the marketplace, because they can't buy them anywhere else unless they buy it secondhand. And if they buy it secondhand, I know for a fact that every coin that we have purchased inside 7K, when it's sold at secondary market, has been more than any of us ever paid for them. So unless somebody just didn't know what they were doing, and then the 7K scooped up on them if they went to the pawn shop and pawned it, because we've tried to buy every one of those out of the marketplace. Even me, I search for them. If somebody goes and pawns a 7K coin, I want to be one of the first ones scooping up on that deal. Thank you, Kule, and heartfelt, and I understand. I want to get a comment from a millennial. Katie, I see you're on, and so you came. You're extremely new. I met you for the first time there, and got to speak with you many times, trying to see about you and your life and why you were even there. But what is the one thing, Katie, if you can unmute yourself, and let me make sure you're unmuted. What is the one thing that you got out of this conference, Katie? And if you're at a place that you can't unmute, let me know. Okay, I'll come back to you if you get to hear that, but I'm going to move on because I'm going to ask Kimo. Kimo, you were extremely new, but you I think you had only been a member for maybe 2 weeks, and you made it a priority to be there. Now I know your sister was part of that motivation, but I had the great opportunity to be able to talk to you a couple of times, even before the convention. And so, Dr. Kimo, I know you've been exposed to many things. If you will unmute yourself and share with us the one most impressive thing that you feel that impressed you most, and gave you sufficient enough reason for your attendance, and away from your family and your home and your work.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bob. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the one thing or the one takeaway I got from that is the humility of the leaders. They're very humble, and like Kool-Aid said, that it's not braggadocious. They all speak from the heart, and so it's a humility thing that got me to see what this company was all about. That they had true heart, true faith, true belief. So they were humble about everything, and I really enjoyed that. Even from every founder, even having the opportunity to speak with Richard, even Jason Blake, so you can tell, just from hearing from them about their heart, and they're being humble about everything, because this humility thing comes from God, and it's a blessing to everybody and to us. So that's my take. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Val, I know you got to attend in Olaf's place, but I'd appreciate you and Sydney were kind of mainstays in this. And if Sydney's around, she's part of that millennial group. I'd really love your and her comments. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourselves, and I'd like to see what your two one things was that impressed you the most, or that you obtained that was worthwhile your trip to take that time out and be away from Olaf.
Hi, Bob. Sydney's still sleeping.
Okay.
And sorry, I caught a cold, I think, from the airplane. So I've been sneezing all morning. But I guess, gosh, there's so much, but just raising my belief system in, the whole company, and just, to me, it's just, oh, I don't know, I'm crying, but it's a God thing. I know it's from God. And that's what I can share with my friends, and knowing that this is really timely, and that it's, if you want to be blessed, that this is an opportunity for people to really be blessed by God. And yeah,
Thank you, Val.
that's what I
Thank you, Val.
yeah,
I
it's
know
real.
that's
It's
hard
a
to tell.
real.
Yeah, it is real. And I think
It's
everybody
very real.
everybody in the group felt exactly the same thing. And I would like to ask Cheryl. I'm going to do a couple of more, and then I have some things I'd like to share. Cheryl, may we ask that one major impact that you had that from this whole time?
My gosh, thank you, Val. You know that I have a whole list of blessings that I received from the trip, but my one quick takeaway was that I was just so blessed and grateful to our Hawaii team, because we were able to bring a positive culture of honor and respect and grateful hearts to the convention, being our first time. And me with some of my insecurities in business building, as a grandma nurse by trade, it also built a security and as Pastor Gary says, a fully persuaded in my mind, more confidence to be able to share. And it is because we were able to hear the hearts of the leaders. We were able to see, and because Bob, you arranged so many things for us to be able to hear, to be able to see, to be able to taste, to be able to feel the whole experience that we went through from Utah to Idaho. So thank you so very much. It is because of that we feel that what we brought a little bit of aloha from this beautiful Hawaii team to bless, honor, and thank our 7K leaders and our 7K ohana in at large. So thank you so much. We are just so blessed.
Yes, and you're exactly right, Cheryl. I mean, y'all brought Hawaii to 7K. Y'all showed 7K and demonstrated to 7K the heart of the 7K Hawaii Ohana team.
I was videotaping, and I was crying sitting in the audience watching all of our 7K Ohana on the stage. It was so beautiful, and I want to thank all of you that went. And I was videotaping and I was crying, so it was wonderful.
I want that videotape.
Okay.
I want that videotape. I wish Kealoha was on here right now, but she'll get to hear the recording. I think what
She's on the radio right now.
she's on the radio. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. She's doing
So am I.
And so are you. And so, what Kealoha and Tarita and the team did and putting that together, and Cheryl, yeah, I mean, that was an experience of our lifetime too. Pamela and I were in awe with the processional and the welcome, and that was just quite a blessing thrown all from you to all of 7K, to the management, to the members. To me, that will project around the world. That's what I saw from what the gift that y'all gave us in 7K is part of the outreach for the rest of the world as we go around the globe and as 7K grows. And Maloha, I think hopefully I said that right. I will learn. I promise you. I'll learn more. Teresa, if you have a chance, if you're on the radio or not, but I'd certainly like to have your takeaway and from.
Yeah.
From
I just loaded
because
that.
you've attended quite a few of these in the past, kind of like me. You've got
Yes.
a lot of experience in these things. So
I think one of the things that is important is to really know your goal. And so when I did it 7K, I actually am not embarrassed to say I didn't know what type of gold I was buying or selling or silver, or I knew about it. People put that thing in my hand, and but I caught it because I caught the business part. I'll tell you, because of stewardship. And I needed to just know their hearts. So everything fell in place for the first 3 weeks, and then it moved over. Now the icing of it, and I think Bob was there with Gerard when I was saying the icing and the sealing of the dealing was when I got to hear the hearts of people, the hearts of the owners. And when they began to speak, like Kool-Aid knows, we invest in conventions because we want to know where the vision is and long-term. We're looking long-term. I don't want to just buy gold and we can have gold today, but it had to tell me that they had in store many other things for us. And because we're investing in it. And if we want our people to understand this and the investment, now people that we talk to, right, Bob, may not understand this, but you got to understand it and you got to believe it. And if you don't understand it, you believe it, then you shut down. You will not be able to take people to the maximum to where God wants us to go. And we can always say about God stuff, but we have to be honest with ourselves. If we are in here for silver and gold, that's fine. And to obtain it, that's fine. But if you are here for stewardship and to earn an income so that others can earn, then we need to be honest and say, this is what we're in here as well, because of the stewardship. And because the 7K founders I'm dyslexia, but my hearing is very clear. It may not hear the way other people do, but it has to catch me in the spirit. If it didn't, I packed my bags and I would have gone. So you just have to, I think it was a personal pursuit. It was a personal pursuit. Is where are you going with this? Where's God taking you? For myself personally, I speak that. And then, because Gerard and I, we have two different visions, but then we'll come together. So again, it had to be caught and not taught. Because if it was taught, it'll go in one ear. It's like, and you know, we've heard this many times. We've heard the same thing over and over. I've been to the Eric Ward. Marina Worry was texting me literally. I mean, for the last 2 weeks, she's been texting me because she sees us on her. This year, I didn't have a heart to do that. But because I wanted to know, who am I partnering with? Who is I partnering with? And if I'm going to partner with partners that is going to secure my gold, my financial, and everybody else's one, then I'm going to lead everybody into that place. So I didn't want to lead people not knowing where I'm being led. So that was what I got out of that. The belief system. It went from, it had to go, it escalated. That's all I wanted to share.
Oh, amazing belief system. Hey, I'm gonna always go back to something here. And if you pick up the 7th piece of paper of my system, it's belief. Belief in your profession, belief in your company and your products and its management, and belief in yourself. You get those 3 things put together at the same time, you will become all that God wants you to be. You will become all that God wants you to be. Pastor Gary. Thank you, Teresa.
Bob, can I add to this? This is Gloria.
Yeah. Hey, Gloria.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to just stress that I really enjoyed and I felt really blessed being there at the conference. What I got from that is really the heart of the founder. But what I also got was legacy, to leave a legacy for not only for our families, but for everybody, to make a difference and to help change lives. And I wanted to just put my input in there that, the founders, they're not also privileged, because they've mentioned themselves that just like all of us, they also, when it comes to purchasing the silver or during the coin drops or whatever happens, they also have to go through the process like we all do.
That's right.
They get to buy one specialty coin themselves.
That's right. No special privilege for the owners, right? And isn't that cool? That's the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
You should be another company where it's like that. Gloria, thank you for popping in like that, because see, you hit the one thing that I also wanted to hear here, legacy. Because see, legacy was the whole part of what the company wanted, their message. Their whole message was legacy. And again, I go back to the mission statement of the company. These co-founders did not start this company to make money. They expect to make money out of it. They expect this to be part of their continuing business success and all the businesses they've built in the past. This is going to add to it, and it's going to add legacy for their family, but it's to add legacy to those who did not ever have the chance to have it. This company allows people to buy, regardless of their income, at the lowest price, incremental gold and silver. The only company in the world that's ever even attempted to do that, but we have it in reality through that Sound Money wallet. And then they get to store it up to $25,000 for free. Now you just think about, as you're younger people, they're starting out and they're working for minimum wage, they're working in restaurants, they're doing all the jobs. But just think, if we can teach those young people to save just a little of real money, God's money, sound money, not man's money, not man's thing, that they can grow and start building a legacy that would change the dynamics of their families and their children's children. And that's true with every strata of income that we have. We are teaching people to change people's lives and how to do it, and but part of the mechanism, if you're going to earn an income, is you have to learn how to work with people as a team. If you really want to succeed at this, believe me, you must work as a team. You got to work as a team. The comp plan, the way I helped be part of developing this, is like Teresa, it don't go wide. It don't go wide. It goes deep, 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 deep. Yeah, and every time you rank up, you're putting more volume, more people, more individuals under other teams, and that only motivates people, gets people to hang around the flagpole, as old Richard Wayne says, and our mentor Jim Rohn said. It's legacy. See, y'all know I'm very shortly will be 75. I did not start this to make a lot of money. I absolutely did not start this to make a lot of money. I started this to help people buy gold and silver at the best price and teach them how, because I was already teaching this for 20 years for free. Because it's the only thing that saved our financial lives. But it gave me a mechanism, and I could even earn some extra money and then buy some more gold and silver in the process of helping other people. And then I had some dear friends that were retired and had Social Security check and a pension check, but it wasn't enough money for them and their family. They had to go back to work in their late 60s and 70s, and one of them in their 80s, to make ends meet. And I got them to join me in this. And each one said they didn't have any money, but I did not put up the money for them. Well, I was asked about a couple of them to put them up. I said, no, if you don't have skin in the game, you're just going to ask me to pay you a coin the next month. It's not that I can't afford it, but that's the wrong thing to do. We're to teach people how to fish. Then they can feed their families. But if we keep giving them a fish, they'll never be able to feed their families. They just have more hands out as their family grows. And this is Roger. Roger could afford to help tons of people. He's got billions. But Roger's same principle. We're going to teach people. We're going to teach people why they need God's money. We're going to teach people, and we're going to provide a mechanism that they can have it. That's our mission. That's your and my mission as members of this company. That's what our mission is too. And it's going to change your life financially too in the process. So you help a person make $500 on a left, help a person make $500 on a right, you're going to make $1,000. That's pretty nice extra income. And guess what? Only one of my friends is still working, and it's by choice now. I have no idea why he's still working, but all the other three are now just do 7K full time because they make more money with 7K than they did in their Social Security and a pension check. Now that's pretty cool. But Pastor Gary, now I want you to be very succinct and very short, because I got some real meat to provide here that I've been kind of holding off. But by far, you have worked and coordinated and communicated. I mean, you're the seed that really spread all the seeds and kept fertilizing and watering all these seeds that made this thing really happen. And you know, I recognize that. I totally recognize that. And I know everybody here and everybody in the hearing of this recording will recognize that. And mahalo to you and all that you do and continue to do. And I pray you continue in your leadership role with the 7K Hawaii Ohana team. But what was the one major impact that hit you and impressed you the most out of this whole time?
I would say what Valerie said, that this is an idea of God whose time has come, which I've said from day one, because I already knew praying and studying 7K, and to see that conveyed through this convention, that was the culture, that was the foundation from Roger Ball, the other owners. We know that the owners and Jason, our CEO, they had to have studied the specific protocol that Tarita and Kealoha put together for us, which was so magnificent. They saw the script, they saw the scriptures, they saw the song, and they said, yes, we will do this. And my friend Eric, who many of you met, made the trip from Green Bay. He was sitting there and he said, wow. He said, I've never seen a company open a convention like this. He said, the owners basically conveyed the message that this is God's mission. And if you're not comfortable with that, you're probably in the wrong place. So what we heard from Roger from the stage, he said it more than once. We are all God's children. We all have the same Heavenly Father, and God did not make any junk. And I'll never forget those words. And Bob, you know, I shared with you, I had a profound moment with Roger. It was a divine appointment while waiting outside for my appointment with you and the founders on Sunday morning. And for 10 minutes, I got to visit with Roger Ball one-on-one. He was in tears when he talked about his heart about this mission and for the people and his heritage of his family. And so I know that that was the most profound thing, is that if you want to be really blessed, just be a part of what God's doing and do your part. And that's what we're privileged to do here, Bob.
Well, I think everybody did, and thank you, Pastor Gary. I think everybody got the same thing out of the hearts of the owners, the why this company is here and what our individual missions are as we spread the word about this company and about this opportunity as we go around the world. We're just at the prefaces of what I call a tsunami wave that of momentum to capture and envelop the entire world with 7K. And it'll be either on your left or right, or part of it on both sides of you. And I hope part of it's on both sides of you. And that depends on your engagement, your activity, and your continued commitment to it. But I want to do a couple of more things. Okay. And I want to show you an exemplification of where the heart of this company is at. And it's really not in it for you. The cost of the ticket was $99. That included 2 meals. And if you saw everything that was done there, the VIP dinner was free. And there was a lot of people in that VIP dinner. Okay. And there were tons of prizes and gifts. Now, I want you to compare this to any other company you ever been in or with. This company pays more out to us than any other company in the history of networking or multi-level marketing or whatever you want to call it. But we're a new animal. We're a member direct marketing company. That's part of our mission, is to change the space, force network marketing to conform to us, because we're the transformer. 7K. Very good verse, Pastor Gary. We're the transformer. And part of that is to make the rest of the world conform to us in the network marketing space. This company look how many associates ran across that stage, but each one of them got a ½ ounce of silver. Some of them may not have even gotten a check. They just have one on the left, one on the right. If they come in with a business family pack, they're an associate. But they got a ½ ounce coin from the company. Look how many of those coppers went across that. And in addition to the pay that they received in commission checks or loyalty points to get free, so they got a full ounce of silver just for showing up with something that really only took their time and their transportation there, and as much discounts as they could possibly, the company could do in reducing the cost of hotel rooms or whatever. Because they did not make any money off of your entry fee. Yeah, trust me, they didn't make a penny. In fact, they contributed to our attendance to that. Because those facilities and running those facilities, you can just count it. You have 1,000 people there. And let's say you take the meals out and you take some of the prizes out that you have there. Well, you can't even take the prizes out because, see, do you know how many coppers cross that stage? And then if you're a bronze, you got a 2 ounce silver coin. in addition to all the commissions you got. If you're a silver, you get a 5-ounce silver coin. That's just extra lanyard. This just comes from the company. 5 ounces of silver. Let's see, if my recollection, you know, that silver eagle's over $40, so that's $200. Hey, here's a gift certificate, $200. But it's in real money, God's money, and that has a chance to go up a lot faster than that $200 would. I want to share something with you. It wasn't just a couple of years ago in Montana and Houston. I mean, we had about 4 or 5 silvers. Silvers was all there were in this company. We were silvers. We had 4 or 5 of us on the stage, and that was it. You know, Richard became the first gold, and we had 3 of us that were gold for a long time. Only 3. Do you know you couldn't fit all those silvers on that stage? I had to come back and start. Look how big that stage was. But all those silvers, that's $3,500 a week that they have a potential to make. Not all were making $3,500, but I'm sure they made or pretty close, except the brand new ones. But they have some silvers up there. They've made $3,500 a week every week for more than the past year. And that's pretty powerful. And then when you get to be a gold, they give you a 1/2 ounce gold eagle coin. That's $1,000. When you get to be an executive gold, get a 1 ounce gold eagle coin. That's over $2,000. This company has a heart of giving. And if you don't understand, see, I don't know how many people picked up on this, see? So that's why I'm telling you about this part. It's more and it's bigger than we all can imagine. And when we start soaking it all in, we'll understand. And the coins, what we're doing in the world, the coin space, is so different. We just ended in this convention one of our first series of coins that were exclusive to 7K. And so I want to review that one with you, because this is going to happen over and over and over and again as time goes by, and it's just going to be more impactful and more meaningful. But if our team, if our 7K Hawaii Ohana team doesn't understand and appreciate this, you won't be able to pass it on. You won't be able to take advantage of it in the future as it comes about. And this is the one thing I want you to be able to take advantage of. This, we talked about, well, let's see. Yeah, one more thing before that. We talked about the prizes and what you get and all extras. Now, Gary Capps and Veronica, many of you on the Hawaii team, and Betty, he's in between George and you, okay? And Gary offered, and his wife offered their time and services because y'all mean so much to them. You have so much volume going up to them. And they picked up several people at the airport and took people to the airport. And they even came all the way to Idaho with us to provide some extra transportation that we needed. And so they dedicated their time and their services and heart, but they loved every second of it. Gary wishes he could have been with us here on this call, which he said earlier. But, you know, there was one special prize that they gave away, the Kilo Cat. Now, the Kilo Cat was a special coin. There's only 100 of them in the world, and that was the first of the 100. So there's only going to be 99 more of them. that coin is going to be worth tons. And that's why I wish Gary was on, because he shared it in the first training that we had, but I'll share what he said. That was a drawing. Every one of us that attended that had a chance to win that kilo cat. We paid $10, kind of like a lottery. And you know, you want to win a brand new Mercedes, sometimes on a charity event, you pay $100 for a lottery ticket and it goes for whatever charity, but then you get a Mercedes out of it. Well, this is what the company did. They sold $10 and they were going to give away that kilo cat. Now that's 2.2 pounds of silver, but it's a design, a special coin. That's not just silver. That's a one-of-a-kind unique coin. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And there were 2,800 tickets sold, $10 each.
That helped them, I hope.
That helped a little, but you just wait 1 second. See, this is why I wanted to tell you in advance how many tickets. And they only drew one out. And y'all saw him reach down in that drawer and dug it in and try to pull out and just one little ticket. And he read the name. It was Gary Capps. Part of our team. Everybody, part of our team. Now, you know, God's divine in so many ways, works in so many ways. It's amazing. We were able to sponsor Gary, part of the team right before y'all. They're long-term friends of Roger Ball, he and his wife, by the way. They've been looking at this business for over 3 years. It was Roger and them been telling them about it. You need to be a member. You need to be a member. Well, Roger can't sponsor them. Roger, Richard, the co-founders do not sponsor anyone in their business. And they were on the last Cancun trip. And that's where we got to meet him. And of course, George and I, we know Roger and Marsha pretty well. So we're visiting with them at breakfast sometimes, or out at the pool, or out at the beach, or wherever we're doing, or when we're eating dinner. And so of course we meet Gary and his wife. And Gary decided he wants to join 7K now. Of course, he can't sponsor in with Roger. He can't sponsor in with Richard. So Richard was going to introduce him to a lot of the leaders or what. And he said, you know, that's fine, but already he knew us already. So we started talking to him, and George and I, and we answered all of his questions. And anyway, long story short, you know, I told it'd be best George sponsor him. I'm already a goal. I'm trying to help George become a goal. And so George sponsored him, and that's before y'all. And that's how he's part of Hawaii. And they've been to Baton Rouge. They traveled over, spent a few days with us, and they live in Utah, right there outside of Salt Lake City. But the long story short, they've made their check. They've made several checks now, and trying to get him to copper. And they attended, and they offered their services. And thank goodness they did, because we needed them. And well, anyway, they reached in there and they pulled out Gary Capps' name. He won it. He went up on stage. Now, do y'all know what? That to him, that was one of the highlights of Gary's life, and he shared that earlier. But he shared on stage that he prayed that night before, because he missed a lot of the coins on a coin drop. He prayed that his number would be picked out of that thing. Now, I told Gary after that, I said, I know why you went. I didn't pray it in. You know, probably only one around here that prayed that in. And God answered your prayer, brother. But anyway, here's the other thing. Immediately after him winning it and said, yeah, I know the person, he was offered $10,000 for that coin.
Wow.
No, that story ain't over yet, Kool-Aid.
It's beautiful though.
He turned it down.
So beautiful.
Well, that's okay, because I, unfortunately, I gave too much information before I offered him 15,000 for it. And he said, I love you, Bob, but I'm not selling you my coin because I know how much it's going to be worth because you already told me. See, this coin is a very unique, one of the kind. It's going to be very difficult, and he's going to send it. He's already sent it out to be graded by NGC because right now it's an ungraded coin. But it's sent out to be graded. And if that comes out to be a PF70 or an MS70, there'll be 100 of them in the entire world. And if you saw that coin, the design, the technique, everything that's in that, these new design coins that we're doing, that only 7K has, by the way. Have you ever been to auctions or art and things? I said within 5 years, the minimum that coin will probably bid for on an auction is 100 grand.
Yeah,
So
easy.
That would have been a steal for me to get it at $15,000. And he said, Bob, I wouldn't take 25,000 if that's what you offer for it. Said, oh, wow. You done got too smarted. You done educated you too much, man. So let me end this with this. This right here is the 5-ounce Liberty coin, the 911 coin. There's only 911 of them, but it's the end cap. This ends the series of a one-of-a-kind Miles Standish design CIT mint with their mintage, where you actually have it's a three-dimensional coin on one front and back of that coin, where that Liberty sticks out from that coin, and other images too. Well, we started this series off with a 1-ounce Liberty coin, and there were 1,886 representing the year, and that's all it was sold, and it was $199. And there were so many people I heard. I mean, there were a lot of people. Oh, wow, that's expensive, $199. The company's trying to rip us off. I'm telling you, that murmuring were going on in that audience in New York where it was introduced. It was enough that I could hear it, and wasn't the whole room. I mean, most of the room is excited about it, but there was the murmurers. Y'all know what that is? Yeah, I know y'all do. Well, anyway, this is the point to this: is don't listen to the murmurs. Don't listen to the people out there. Don't listen to these people who don't know what they're talking about. Don't let them influence you. Don't let them have their opinion, because it's not based on fact and not based on knowledge, because they have none when it comes to this world. Only the people in 7K have this knowledge. No one else does. I don't care what they've been in. I don't care how long they've been collecting coin. They know nothing, because only 7Kers know it. Only the NGC knows it. Only PCSG know that. We are leading a whole new market in the numismatic world. We're bringing in whole new art to the whole new collection. I think that's why they chose me to do the coin thing, because I know this too. This is the end cap. That was 749.99. And if you had shipping, you had to add $17.99. $749. Those that had foresight bought one of these because that's cheap. That's not inexpensive. That's cheap. Let me tell you why. This is the end cap, and this is the beginning of many to come. So I'm trying to give you a quick education. We started this with that 1 ounce, $1.99, and the murmurers and the hissers thought that was expensive. Only 1,886 of them. Then the 2 ounce was announced right after that, and you could buy a ticket to buy one and reserve it. The 2 ounce was $2.99, and the murmurers still there. One of the kind, first edition, first mile Standish sign coin, first design, the man most recognized in the entire, for 40 years, most recognized individual in the coin collecting world that changed all of the coin collecting world, Miles Standish. And it's his first design coin, and he let 7K do it. To me, that was unbelievable. And I didn't just buy one, and neither did my friend George. We didn't care. We didn't even hear what the murmurers say. We were trying to put cotton in our ears so it didn't affect us. Well, a pastor in Florida by the name of Pastor Henry, he actually bought more than we did. And he didn't have a lot of funds because he's in disability, and he carts around in his electric wheelchair at all the events. And unfortunately, he wasn't at his first event. He's seen him miss. But he bought something like 37 sets or something like that. Now that's $199, $299. That's $500. They sold out really quick at 7K, meaning you couldn't get them. They didn't have any more except the few they reserved, and now they're completely sold out. So they sold out the last 1 ounce and 2 ounce coins that they had in reserve. And so he started selling his because he needed money, and that's why he bought them. To him, it was an investment. He bought those sets for $500. He started selling them at $1,250. He sold 17 sets at $1,250. That's a $750 profit, not even a year later. So apparently somebody wanted them. No, don't call Pastor Henry, try to get a set for $1,250. Because about 2 weeks before our convention, a set sold for $2,700. So new prices are being set every day for these coins. We've not had a coin that we bought on our autosaver that in a year's time we couldn't sell it for much more than we bought it. This is what the murmurers know nothing about. Our state series coins are, and now we have exclusive. Because why do we have exclusive? All three of our coins are going to be exclusive because there's the finality of the Liberty coin, the gold coin right there. And that's going to be part of our specialty coin. So our basic coin, the MS7, the Eagle State Series, our variety coin, the Animal Series. Oh, and by the way, those are coinage of sovereign nations. So remember what we talked about in the question and answer session? These are all backed by their weight, content, and authenticity, and you're not ever going to have them, analyzed because they're a sovereign nation's country. So see, when counterfeiters try to counterfeit these things, oh, they got the countries after them for counterfeiting their own currency. See, it's a lot bigger risk. So they'll counterfeit a bullion, but the country's currency is a little bit. That's why the Silver Eagle, they go after them big time. Well, to have a complete set, you got to have 1 ounce, the 2 ounce, the 5 ounce, the gold coin, and the 9/11 silver bill, 100% silver bill. Now that makes a complete set. Just the 1 ounce and 2 ounce sold for $2,700. Now I want you to imagine. There were 1,886 of the 1 ounce. You can't have 1,800 sets because there were only 1,028 of the 2 ounce, meaning October 28th. October 28, 1886, when there's always a story in Miles Standish's coins that they dedicated this to America. And then you now have the gold, and the new way of making smaller quantities of silver and gold is this way, by the way. But this is a collectible, okay? But you can have them that's not. There's only 911 of these. So how many complete sets of these Miles Standish Liberties do you think that's possible in the world? You got it, 911. So the people who bought one of these, they got some power in their hands. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a secret that I hadn't been telling everybody else. Only people on this. And by the time they hear it, people hear this on a recording, it's going to be too late. Because how many of us went in there and tried to get another one, like me, and it said, oh, sold out? They weren't sold out. They're in your cart. They're in the back office under the dashboard. You click on that thing, you put in finale as the code, it opens it up. But here's the thing, it's limited to 1 per membership. For those of us that have a family business, family pack. Now, George and I got 4. So we can have 4 complete sets. So we got 1 on each one of our centers. But when I tried to buy another one there in Salt Lake, and it said sold out. And I said, man, I missed out. George bought all his that day. And I'm dealing with everything going around. And I said, man, I really missed out. George sat there and got all his and took the time. I'm trying to set up meetings and do stuff, and I missed out. And kind of like Richard and Roger and the co-founders, they get busy, they miss out. Okay. And so I went back in yesterday, and I went in today earlier, and I bought my 4th. And so I got my 4th. So if anybody missed getting one that wants one, go in and get it before they're all gone, because there's only 911 of them. And if you have somebody that wanted one and they missed getting one, let them know. Okay. Because this will go up on the internet soon. And I want to let y'all know that they still have them there. So that completes the Miles Standish Liberty series, the Statue of Liberty series, or the 9/11 Statue of Liberty series. He already did a White House coin. We have a 1 ounce and 2 ounce. Imagine more is coming to end cap it. And say it'd be pretty misses, but those aren't the end of Miles Standish. We're going to have a series of Miles Standish coins. We're going to have a series of many more coins, unique, rare. And you talking about creating legacy. That's creating legacy. When I started out with these, I wanted to try and have a set for all my children, my grandchildren. Well, as you see, I can't have a complete set of these. I can only have 4 because that's all I got. Okay. But I had started out, I got 10 sets. I do have enough for the 1 ounce and 2 ounce for them that all of us can have a set. But I no longer have the chance to have a complete set, which is the most valuable. And that kind of wraps it up with some of the things that I wanted to share. They're going to be bringing a lot more to the table. The fact that we've got I haven't registered myself to the stack and sell, but a lot of people have already. I encourage you to do that. Go in, register, get into that, start. Many of you have few coins you can scan and it puts in your ownership and it'll keep your inventory. So start it now, get on that. It's free right now, and then pass the word to everybody. Get your stack and sale done. But I don't want you to do that today, right now. This is Saturday. And what do we do on Saturday? We have payroll on Saturday. And so the last thing to wrap this kind of training up and add a little bit of basic training and advanced training is I want to share one of the first things that you should always be doing on a Saturday. And in your website, you should be going to number 1, your dashboard. You should be looking at your actives on your left, actives on your right, and your volume, because you don't want to be caught with 1,495 points at Hawaii time. It closes at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is midnight Mountain Time. Yeah. Okay. So 8 p.m. is your cutoff. That ends payday for you. That ends the pay week. So you have to get everything done by 8 p.m. Hawaii time. And so if you got 1,495 points and you're a copper, you want those other 5 points. That'll make you a $1,500 check. Because if you don't, 495 goes to loyalty. Okay. Well, that's okay unless you got a leadership point. Leadership point, then those 495 roll over and you don't have to worry about it. But it's worth buying a 5-point coin somewhere in the product list that gives you 5 points to get that $1,500 check. And so this is part of what I'll teach. You look at your products and you see the points. I mean, look, hey, you didn't get a bill? 9/11, there you go. $84.99 gives you 5 points. Bingo, $1,500 check, and you got something good for you. Don't spend more than you make, but always optimize your check. The company gives you all the information for you to do that. And if you want something else, you just look through the product list and you add it to your cart, go to checkout, done. You got your 5 points. Well, the other thing you need to look at is to make sure you got enough actives and you got to keep your rank, that you get your pay rank. And they give us all this information, okay, for us to do this in the downliner. And I'm going to just pick a person. It's okay. Pastor Gary, I'm going to pick you, okay? I'm not going to do me. Mine takes too long, trust me. We're going to use Pastor Gary. Oh, I need to go to left side. See, I'm finding a specific person, and I know Hawaii's on my left. And so there's Gary Cap. See, he's first. Then comes Pastor Gary. Okay. So we're going to look at Pastor Gary. We're going to see if you're okay to earn your checks this week. And the very first thing you want to do is you want to leave it just on actives. And you want to make sure when I first looked at it, I should have just looked at it and told you, but you're a bronze, so you got to have 3 actives on your left and 3 actives on your right. And the only thing we need to look at is personal enrollees. Okay, so we're going to look at the left side and make sure you got 3 actives. You got them, and they're active 5 days, 7. You don't even have any concern. They're not even close to going inactive, and that's fine. And on your right side, you got to have 3, and you got much more than 3, and nobody's right there at the verge of going inactive. You're fine there in terms of actives. Okay, what if you weren't? What if your left side, Christina, was inactive? Let's just say that. And it would be yellow. Well, you'd only have 2. Well, then it's going to automatically bring you down to copper. So how do you rectify that? Well, you go to Christina's office, you go to her back office, and you go to auto ship, and maybe she's not on auto ship. And then you add an auto shipper, and you click process now. And as soon as you do that, an order is placed, and bingo, she goes green. And now you got 3 actives, and you're still bronze, and you maintain your rank for your pay period. Okay, now that's how you use this system to not let your rank fall. For those of you trying to get, and now we got a contest going. So it's very important to maintain your rank with those points you get, because if you don't maintain your rank, if you look at the contest rules, you don't get those points that you want, and they'll be erased from you in that contest standing. That's very, very important. Don't let your rank fall during the contest. And this is how you function. Or you want to make sure, since Gary's a bronze, he has to have a copper on his right and a copper on his left. Well, he's got a bronze on his left. It's very unlikely that Cheryl would go from bronze to copper to associate. Okay, so I'd say he's pretty strong, but if he wanted to check it out, he could. We do the same thing. We click on Cheryl, we go up here, we look at Cheryl's downline by clicking on that link. We look at her personals. That's the first thing we look at. And then we look at her left side. Well, she's got enough active. Okay, she's going to stay active. Colleen's her copper. And so even if Colleen fell to an associate, she's going to still be okay. But she got another associate here and another copper over here. So she got, and another copper. She got plenty of insurance on that side. So let's look at the right side. Okay. Well, Ann Kealoha is a copper, and she got an associate and an associate. So plenty of insurance to stay at least copper. And that's all that Gary needs is copper. Okay, for him to stay bronze. Okay, so he has no worry here on that side. Let's go back to Gary again, and let's look at his right side now. Okay, now his right side, he needs a copper. He's got 1 copper. He's got his actives. They're okay. Nobody's approaching inactivity here. If they did, they'd have a big yellow thing saying 5 days to inactive, 4 days to inactive, 3. That gives you a countdown. Big old yellow thing. I'll find one here in a second, show you what I'm talking about. So his only concern is Eric, for him to stay bronze for the contest and for his pay. He needs to make sure Eric stays copper. So let's take a quick look. He doesn't have to call up Eric. He has all the information in his back office, and he goes to personal enrollees. He goes to right side. And what do you have to be a copper? 2 actives on your right, 2 actives on your left. So he's got 3. And if you can't remember them like me, then you print out that one piece of paper with the comp plan and make sure you always have it at your computer at the side. Two, just look at it. It tells you the minimum requirements to stay at that rank. So he's an associate here. He's got one active. With that, that's not a lot of insurance there. So we may as well check. Well, let's that's the right side, Eric. Left side, Eric. He's got an associate here. One active, he's got enough actives, but see, we got to make sure these people stay active. And so let's go ahead and check this one on Eric. And we're going to look at personal. See, we don't look at all, we only worry about personal. And we see 7 days and 20. Okay, those are fine. Those are fine. They're going to stay active. In other words, they're not going to become inactive. And so let's look at Eric again. Let's look at personals again. Let's look at his other side. There's this other one, his son. And so let's see if his personals are approaching inactivity, 20 days. And today is the last day. So we got another whole week of activity. So no problem. Hey, Pastor Gary, good luck. Man, you stay bronze. You don't have to do a thing. You don't
Amen,
have to.
Brother Bob.
So your concentration now is sponsoring somebody else and your business, or getting somebody started up and trained up and learning more about the opportunity they have in their hands. So let's go back to Pastor Gary. Okay, now I'm going to show you on the right side. I do this a lot. Sometimes I'll take and say who's in it. Notice I only have active check. You don't want to inactive. Who's going to become inactive in the group? Who will become inactive? Uh-oh, you don't have any over there. Wow. How about the left side? Oh, see, now on the left side of you got several that they're active now, but they're approaching inactivity and you're given warnings. So see, the company's view is we give you all the information. You can't tell us that you forgot. You're just not checking your back office. Okay. And so look, tonight, let me tell you how to read this. Tonight at midnight, Noah goes inactive. This is the last day. He is inactive in one day. This day, he goes inactive at midnight Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Hawaii time. And if this is an active you need for your rank, you then lose rank. Losing rank is okay if you don't have the volume, or it doesn't mean anything to you because you make it active next week, week after. But if you got volume and you go from bronze to copper, you're limited to $1,000. You got 1,500 points there. You're only going to get paid $1,000 because you're a copper. And all you had to do is buy a coin for $105. You get another $500 check. Hello, come on. Good economics. We got to become good stewards of what we have in our hands. And I'm teaching you how to do that through using the tools that you're provided. Okay. Now, see the countdown? 2 days for Patty. Look at Arlene, an associate. Got 2 actors here, 2 actors here. Oh, by the way, when you become inactive, you start getting a grace period of so many days before you lose your points. And she's there. Arlene's almost at a check. She don't want to lose those points. Gee whiz, her purchases go over here anyway. Anybody signs up or gets placed on that side, she's pretty close to getting a $250 check. All she needs is what? 85 more points. Hello. Okay, so typically on cases like that, I'd click on Arlene and I'd say, oh, is she in jeopardy? She's not even on the autosaver program. So I'm going to be calling her sponsor. Her sponsor is Gloria. Say, hey, Gloria, hey, do you know Arlene, an associate, not even on that? That has a high likelihood of somebody forgetting something and not going in on that day and making a purchase. And now she's going to look, you're going to lose rank. She's going to lose if that rank helps you. And then if not, and so hopefully Gloria's on the call here. She was earlier. Hey, Gloria.
Yeah, she knows about it, Bob.
I'm getting you know, okay, you already did this. Yeah, y'all are good at this already.
Aware of that.
I understand. But I'm just trading here that this is my thing I look at right here, autosaver. That tells me caution. They're not even on an autosaver, okay? Because they can go inactive from month to month. So that's a person, if I'm sponsoring that person, I'm putting them on my call list every month. I mean, every month I'm checking it. Every month I'm calling them, okay? And so this is how you see it. Let me show you something else real quick, just in case. With this one, I'm going to click on inactives, okay? And here I'm going to say who is going to lose points. Now notice here, see, when I say 0 days, you look 1 day, see 0 days, these already, there is no 0 day. When it says 0 days, you are inactive. When it says 1 day, this is your last day. So that's the day to do something right then when it says 1 day. Okay. And so I'm going to look and see who flushes points soon. That's the red one. Oh, look here. Okay. So all these people are going to lose points. Now I look at because a lot of them will be like that secondary account in the business family pack, and they may not see or have the ability or whatever to buy the coin. But I always let them know anyway that they're going to lose their points. It's just information. Because see, that's not just points. That's $4,270. That's not just points. That's $4,270. That's just like saying, I'm okay with throwing $4,000 in the toilet. You got to look at it like if you're paying down payment on land and paying down payment or putting your money in mutual funds and ETFs. See, it's a perspective. This is not points to get some shampoo or some vitamin pill. That's not what this is. These are points to get gold and silver and income. That whole big difference here. So you got to look at these points different. And our points, if you're in the US, to other countries, it's a little different because they have an exchange rate, but our points are dollars. And so that's a significant one there for Lucille. Another one I see is there. And I know what these are. Those are secondary accounts. Okay. But they need to understand they're going to lose those points there. Okay. Ones that really I look at are ones that got points on both sides, because those are approaching checks for people. And if they're in your organization, what I do is I look and I see who the sponsor is, because it's not up to me to call them if I'm not their sponsor. And I know who that is myself personally, so I'm going to call them and make sure they know that that's going to happen. Hopefully, if they're doing this that I'm teaching right now, everybody would know. You do it. I like to do it before Saturday. I like to do it toward the end of the week, but I do it multiple times on Saturday because I'm checking the counter, because that will change drastically close to the nth hour of closing the business. And if you're a bronze, like I say, you don't want to end up with 1,990 points and you don't have any leadership points. Because all you got to do is buy an autosaver and it'll give you 2,005 points. You get a $2,000 check and you got an extra coin and only costs you $105. Kind of no brainer, isn't it? I think you'd agree with me. So that's your trading for advanced or beginner, because a lot of people are in this to go for silver for 90 days. If you're going for silver for 90 days and you just started and you're right now an associate and you're ready to put a business family pack on your left, business family pack on your right, sponsoring one person on your left and one person on your right, and you're a copper, and so you're well on your way to being silver in the 90 days, because that's the first step. I want to stop sharing here. And I want to thank everyone for your patience and understanding. I know we went a little long today and it's going to be a long recording, but those who want information will get it. Okay. And